So, the film begins with Princess Isabelle, whose 18th birthday is today. She opens her wardrobe like every year after receiving her parents' blessings, and she takes out a red-colored object which was emitting intense light. Isabelle had this object for the last 18 years, but Isabelle did not know who gave it to her and what it is used for. So, she wanted to know this today. So she took this object and went out of the palace, and as soon as she came out of the palace, that object starts emitting a very bright light. Even Princess Isabelle's hands get burnt, and she throws this object down. A circle of fire is formed around Princess Isabelle, and suddenly Princess Isabelle disappears inside that circle of fire, and everyone gets scared seeing this. The king also comes out after hearing the noise, and he gets worried seeing that the princess had disappeared somewhere. The scene flashes back to 18 years earlier, when the king was returning to his kingdom after winning a battle with his General Max after many years. This time, we also see General Max's family, which included his wife and son John. Max comes to know that his son John is brilliant in studies. He likes sketching and reading books a lot, but Max feels that nothing happens by reading books, that he should know how to fight so that he can become a brave warrior and make his life better. A few days later, we see that a daughter is born in the king's house, whom he names Princess Isabelle. The entire governess' whole family comes to congratulate the king, and John also brings a drawing for the little Princess Isabelle after sketching. A man also comes to the palace in the hustle and bustle of these guests, who secretly keeps the red-colored object near the princess, which we have seen earlier in the movie. The king and queen keep looking at that man in surprise. They could not recognize this man, but they had still accepted his gift. Well, time passes and now we are shown that Max used to train his son John to become a warrior every day, but John, who loved reading books and sketching, he used to learn to read and write with his mother, hiding from his dad. Time passes like this, and John grows up. His dad had now made him a warrior, but his interest was still in books, due to which he used to be scolded a lot by his dad. Max here. Princess Isabelle's 18th birthday also comes. The same scene is shown from where the movie started, when she comes out of the palace with a red-colored object, then she suddenly disappears inside the circle of fire. The king also comes out in worry. He sees that only the princess crown was left inside the circle of fire. Picking it up, he announces sorrowfully that whoever finds Princess Isabelle back, the king will marry him to the princess and will also award half of this kingdom to him. This news reaches General Max, and he tells John that this is the chance to prove yourself as a warrior. John asks, "Where can I find her? She has disappeared somewhere in the fire." He tells John that I am also accompanying with you in this mission and you will somehow find the princess. John has to obey him, and they leave for the journey with the necessary things. When it is night, they stop at a bar on the way where they meet two men, and they come to know from their conversation that they were also going to search for the princess. They offer Max that we can go together. Max was not agreeing to this, but John said that it would be better for us to go together. Then the sun rises, and they continue their journey. John was still worried. He asks everyone that the world is so big, where should we find the princess? Then a guy named Tom tells, "I have heard that the place from where the princess has disappeared, the entire area around it has turned into a wasteland." Hearing this, John remembers a place which he had read about in books. This was Wasteland, a completely burnt place where an evil magician ruled. John also knew the way to that place. And now John's dad Max gets very impressed by this information. The scene shifts and we are shown a black palace on the same wasteland about which John was talking. We are also shown that evil magician here who kidnapped Isabelle. This time Isabelle was standing in front of him, and the magician was telling her about his evil intentions, that I want to marry you. The magician was very clever. He says that I had placed this magical stone with you 18 years ago because I wanted to marry you since then. Today you have turned 18 years old, now I can marry you. But Princess Isabelle says I will not marry you, you will not succeed in your evil intentions. The magician says that by taking such a decision you will be at a loss. Look. Marry me. I will never die and will always remain young because I possess such a magic with which I can always remain alive and young. With the same magic, I will always keep you alive and young and very happy too. But Isabelle still refuses. Then the magician angrily says that until your refusal turns into a yes, you will remain in my captivity. Here he calls a man, calling him dwarf, and imprisons Princess Isabelle. And he himself disappears in the burning fire. Here, that dwarf was taking Isabelle to imprison her. At this time, he tells Isabelle that I don't want to do this with you, but I am helpless. Isabelle says what kind of helplessness, so, that boy tells that actually I was born into a dwarf's family, but I was born a big man, that's why dwarfs didn't accept me, they didn't love me. Then I came to the magician told me that I can grant you the body and life of dwarfs, but the magician had put a condition that I should sign a contract because I was uneducated, so, I put my thumb impression on that contract with my blood. And I came to know later that under this contract the magician has made me his slave for the next 100 years. That he tells her that because of this contract, or say because of the curse, I can't even go out of this wasteland. The scene shifts and now we are again shown Max's group, where these four were talking that when we get the princess then we will divide the entire kingdom received as a reward among ourselves. In this way it becomes evening, and they sit by lighting a fire at one. They continue their journey as dawn breaks. So, now they face wild robbers, seeing whom everyone gets scared but not Max, because Max was a bravest general and warrior. Fighting with so many people was a common thing for him. He had knocked down 3 people at a time. Even if someone attacked him with 3 swords, he would have driven them away with only one of his swords. When everyone falls down after getting beaten, the leader of the robbers apologizes to Max. Continuing their journey, they cross a river and finally reach the wasteland. After reaching here, people see that it was so hot here that even their water had turned to sand. John says that this place is cursed because only the water of cursed place can turn into sand, otherwise, water never turns. Finally, now they also find that palace which belonged to that magician. Well, they did not know that the princess is here, but they now move inside the palace. This palace was vast. John suggests that we all will have to go in different directions to see it. John himself goes towards the upper tower and there he finds Princess Isabelle. Seeing him, the princess asks, "Who are you?" Then John says that I am John, son of General Max. John tells, "I have come here to free you." Saying this, when he tries to break the locks here, the locks do not break, and the princess tells him that there is an effect of the black magic of the magician here, and these locks will be broken only with the will of the magician, or they will break only when the curse of the magician ends. Now John says after hearing this, "You wait for me. I will definitely come again to save you." Here now we are shown the remaining 3 people for whom this palace had become like a maze due to the magician's magic. These people used to come to the same room of the magician after roaming around where the magician had met the princess. In a short while, John also comes to them. Before they could talk, another door opens, and Dwarf comes to them. He asks, "What are you all doing here?" They were about to answer his question when the magician also came here. They told the magician that we have come here to find the princess. The magician laughed and told that the princess is with me, but there is a condition to free her. He tells the name of a kingdom and says that whoever brings the locket to me from its sorceress, I will hand over the princess to him. Max says, "Why is it better than working so hard? Why don't we kill you and take the princess from here?" The magician says, "Fulfill this desire of yours too." So, Max first calls John forward. John had just swung his sword. The magician threw him away with his magic stick. Then Max himself tried to kill him. He attacks the magician, but the magician throws him away too. Seeing this, the other coward companions themselves back off, and these people understand that now they will have to bring the locket of that sorceress. When they were crossing the wasteland, an old man came in their way. He said to them, "I know where you are going. No one has been able to reach that magical kingdom till date where you want to go. There are many magical illusions on that path in which everyone gets trapped. If you want to reach there, control yourself and don't be trapped in any illusion." John asked, "How do you know that we are going to the magical kingdom?" So that old man says, "This is not necessary. The important thing is what I told you." Taking his advice, these people move forward, and they really also spot some beautiful girls on the way towards whom Tom was about to approach, but John stopped him and said that all this is an illusion, and we will have to avoid it. They move a little further and they see a warrior on the way who challenges Max that you think you are a great warrior. If so, then come and fight with him. Max used to accept every challenge, before he could accept that too. John makes him understand with a great difficulty that this is an illusion and moves forward from here. Now they see a bar on the way where people were enjoying. Everyone moved forward considering it to be an illusion, but Tom went inside that illusion from behind in greed of wine and got stuck there. Now these people leave Tom here and start their journey ahead. So here Tom's companion sees a lot of treasure at a place ahead. He was moving towards the treasure. But then John told him that it is an illusion. The more you look at it deeply and think about it, the more you will get trapped in it. To avoid seeing these things, John blindfolds him and they move ahead. John had saved his companion, but he could not save his dad, who again saw the illusion of a warrior and got trapped in the same illusion to fight with him. That is why he reluctantly moves ahead alone. These people were now crossing their next journey through the river. Then John's companion asked him, "What will happen to your dad?" So, he says that once I get the locket of that sorceress, after that I will find some way to get my dad out too. Finally, these people now witnessed the sorceress, who was sitting wearing the same big locket which the magician had demanded to bring. John says after seeing it that the magician was saying that she is an evil sorceress or a witch, but she is appearing to me a beautiful fairy. The magician is surely playing a trick on us. He decides that we have to talk to this fairy, but by then his partner had already run away to snatch her locket from that fairy. First of all, he attacks this girl and injures her and then gets her locket. As a result, this girl started suffering even more after losing this locket. Now by the time John reached here, that partner of John started running away from here with the boat, and John started talking to this girl. He says that the magician sent us to get your locket because he has kidnapped our princess, and he has asked for your locket in return for releasing her. He had said that you are a witch and a sorceress. But you don't look like that to me. Then the girl says that the magician has lied to you. I am the queen of fairies, and that locket has all my powers, and if it goes away from me, then I will become weak in die. No magician can get that locket. That is why he sent you humans here. That fairy was very scared and says that if the magician gets that locket, I will also die, and he will ruin my kingdom. John became very sad after hearing this, and he promised that I will bring back your locket somehow, and I will not let anything happen to your kingdom. John was about to leave from here, but then he remembered that the fairy was also injured at this time. He asks, "Who will treat you?" Then she says that there are many other fairies who will take good care of me, and as long as that locket is fine, I will also be alive. Now John quickly takes off his heavy clothes and uses them to cross the river. And then he runs after his companion to get that locket, but John fails to catch him, and soon he reaches his horse and enters the wasteland on the horseback. As soon as he came inside the palace, the magician came in front of him, and he asked, "Did you bring that locket?" So, that man said, "Yes." Seeing this, the magician becomes happy. That man demands, "Hand over the princess to me before taking this locket," and the magician brings the princess here as per his request. In the meantime, John also comes here. He wanted to stop him, but he tells him not to give this locket to the magician at all. But when this man does not listen to John, John was about to move forward to stop him. But before that, this magician created a circle of fire around him from where he could not escape. Now when that man was giving this locket to the magician was not able to catch this locket due to its powers. That is why he tells this man to come and follow me. As these two leave, Princess Isabelle extinguishes the fire around John and she starts taking care of him. Meanwhile, the magician makes that man throw that magical locket into his magical fire. As soon as the locket falls into the fire, the magician laughs loudly and tells the man that you have completed half of my plan. That woman is not any sorceress but the queen of fairies. I could not touch this magical locket due to my magical curse, but you brought this locket for me. Now see, by the next full moon, when this locket melts, that queen of fairies will also die, and all her powers will become mine, due to which I will be able to rule this whole world. He was telling all this when John and Isabelle also came here. John says to his friend, "Listen, I was coming to tell you these things." The scene shifts, and we see the queen of fairies, who was in a lot of agony due to the burning of that locket. On hearing the shriek of the fairy queen, Max, who was trapped in an illusion, and he gets freed. Now he remembers his son who was not here. We see the magician here again, who shows his real old form to them and tells them that I had given you tips to pass through that magical path that day so that you could cross that path easily. The greedy man says, "Whatever it is, I have completed your work. Now the princess is mine according to your promise." He laughs once again and says that you believed my words. You are very innocent. Saying this, he turns him into a horse and now tells Princess Isabelle that come on, now it is time for our marriage. Isabelle angrily tells him again that I have told you that I will not marry you. Here John was still trying to extinguish the magician's magical fire with various things. He pours his sand which was in the bottle. Then the magician tells him that this fire will not be extinguished like this because it is a magical fire. Now because he was harassing the magician repeatedly, the magician hangs John from the ceiling as a punishment. Seeing this, the princess feels very bad, and she tells the magician to bring John down for me. I am ready to marry you in return. As soon as Isabelle says this, the magician throws John down and sends him away from here with his magic, and from here the scenes shift to Max, who had now come to the magical kingdom. He says that I heard someone's very painful scream here. The queen of the fairies says that this scream was mine. She tells Max everything that has happened till now, and Max understands that all this is the magician's trick, and he leaves after promising this fairy that I will save your locket. Here the queen of the fairies says that it is not so easy to defeat him. It is necessary to extinguish his magical fire to defeat him. That fire contains all his power, and it will not be extinguished with a lot of water because all the water turns into sand as soon as it goes to the wasteland. Max asks, then what will we do? So now the queen of fairies gives him magical water through a fairy with the help of which that fire could be extinguished. They also tell that Max must do it before the next full moon, otherwise, the queen of fairies will die, and the magician's evil intentions will be fulfilled. Now these people were talking that on the other side the magician cast a spell on the fairy's locket, and he made the fairy disappear from here through the same locket and brought her to his palace. Max was surprised and asked the other fairies that where did the queen go. So all the fairies told that the magician has kidnapped her. Here the magician was saying to that fairy that it has been a long time since I saw you. Before they could talk more, Dwarf comes from behind and says that you have started doing too much injustice these days. Hearing this, the magician gets angry and he ties a sash around his neck and turns him into a dog. He now casts his magic on Dog and said, kill John after grabbing when I signal you. After this, the magician brings Princess Isabelle here with his magic, and he says, showing Isabelle to her, that I am going to marry her. Your locket will also be melted by the next full moon, after which all your power will also become mine, and after that I will rule the world, and I will be happy in this world with this Princess Isabelle. The magician now leaves from here for marriage with Princess Isabelle. The princess says owe him in the wasteland to show me whether John is alive or not, so he shows John lying in the wasteland. After this, the magician gives a magical gesture due to which his magical dog comes and starts attacking John. The princess and the magician move ahead, but the dog was now after John, and John was trying to escape from him. In this defense, John gets hold of the dog's lanyard, and as soon as he pulls the lanyard, the dog turns into a human being. That dwarf. As the dwarf comes back to its original state, he tells John that all this is the spell of that magician, and I want to take revenge from him. Now the scene shifts to Max, who is moving towards Wasteland along a secret path with two fairies. Max asks which path is this, so the fairies say that this is the path through which our queen and that magician used to visit each other's palace to meet, but then greed came in the heart of that magician, and he started following our queen, after which our queen got this path closed forever. On the other hand, the magician reaches the princess kingdom with the princess, and everyone is very surprised and happy to see the princess. The king and queen are very happy to meet their daughter again and ask her where she disappeared, but the princess is unable to tell them anything due to fear of the magician, and the magician lies to both of them that I have found your princess. Now you will have to marry her to me and also give me half of your kingdom according to the promise. Since the king did not know the truth about the magician, he also agreed. The scene changes and we are again shown John, who was trying to get out of the wasteland with that dwarf, but he was not able to go out from here. So, dwarf told John that due to the curse of the magician, I cannot get out of this wasteland for the next 100 years. So, John used his wisdom, and he spoke that you cannot get out of here as a dwarf, but you can get out as a dog. Saying this, he puts the magician's magical leash on the dwarf's neck again, and the dwarf turns into a dog again. He crosses the river in the form of a dog, and on reaching the other side of the river, he opens his sash and is very happy to see that he had broken the curse of the magician by doing this, and now he was free. These people now quickly reach the palace to save the princess, and they start telling everyone the truth about the magician before the wedding, that the magician had actually kidnapped the princess, that he did not rescue the princess. At that time the king orders to kill the magician in a fit of rage, but the magician sets fire to everyone's swords with his magic. Seeing this, John says to the magician, if you are really a brave man, then fight with me without your magical powers. The magician agrees for 1 minute, and as soon as the fight starts, the fake magician deceives John once again, and with the magic of his sword injures John and knocks him down. We are shown Max here, who had now reached the secret room of the magician's secret palace where he kept his magical fire. He pours the magical water in the fire as he finds it, which was given to him by the fairy queen. As soon as the fire is extinguished, he takes out the locket from the fire, and he makes the fairy queen wear it, and thus the fairy queen regains consciousness, while on the other side we are shown that the magician has lost all his powers due to the extinguishing of the magical fire. When he was about to fight with John, he was unable to fight because his magical powers were not working. So this time John knocked him down in one go and became brave in the eyes of everyone. The dwarf makes the magician wear the magician's own magical lanyard, due to which the magician also turns into a dog. In the meantime, the fairy queen brings Max here with magic. The fairy queen tells the king the whole truth, how John and his dad Max had handled this whole situation very bravely. They saved the princess, and along with the princess, they also saved the fairies and the fairy kingdom. Hearing this, the king becomes very happy and praises the bravery of both of them, and he finally decides to get the princess married to John. Everyone becomes very happy with this decision, and this story ends here.